All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about practicals and building your entire scene around where practicals are placed inside of the room. Is that even a thing? I think it is. And that's the video that we're going to be talking about today. Before I do, though, let me mention the Wandering DP Patreon group. It's the only way I can do any of these videos. I appreciate the support each and every week. I offer exclusive content over there, video breakdowns, podcasts, all sorts of stuff. This year, we're doing the 52-week roadmap of cinematography. If you're interested, check out the link in the description below. Okay, let's talk about what I mean. Look at these 4 examples. What do you notice about these examples that is different, right? They're all pretty much the same. They're interior shots where you're going to use a practical and you're going to use a key light. Okay, but what are the differences here? Or what is the main difference that I am looking to talk about today? It's the placement of the subject in the frame relative to the practical, not relative to the key light, relative to the practical. And why is this important? Because we want to create depth in an image. Nighttime interior, you will guarantee you will shoot this scene. You will have some nighttime interior that you need to shoot. Now, what we want to do is we want what in cinematography? We want depth. How do we get depth? Through light and shadow and trying to make a 2-dimensional medium look 3-dimensional. Okay, so we want, I call it salt and pepper in the frame. We want little spots of high, little spots of low, and we want them mixed up as much as possible. Now, in one example, ta-da, this one. What do you have? You have light, dark, light, dark, light. Okay? In this example, we have dark, light, light, dark, kind of dark still. Okay, in this one, dark, light, dark, light. Light, light, dark, kind of light again. Okay. My suggestion here is that you place on nighttime interiors, you place the key light on the opposite side of the practical in the background. So I want the practical on the shadow side of someone's face. Now you're thinking that's incredibly specific. Like, how am I going to make sure that I get that every time? That seems like a lot of work. It is, but that's the entire job. Okay, we know the final destination that we want to get to. Okay, and this is where, bring back a classic example that I used to use all the time. The Price is Right Plinko. Okay, this is the Plinko example. Let's look at this. What's the game of Plinko? In fact, I'm going to play what Plinko is now, so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Let's go right back here and play Plinko. Now, I'm going to give you this disc, and with this one disc, you can win as much as $5,000. You see those stairs? In a moment, you're going to go up those stairs, and up there where it says Plinko, any place on that board, you put this disc flat against the surface. Don't put it this way and roll it out into the audience. That's not going to do any good. Put it flat against the surface and let it come down between those pegs. I don't know whether you can see those pegs on camera or not, but there are pegs all through here that will cause that to bounce around. And drop when ready, Gridley. $500.
Okay, so what does Plinko have to do with cinematography? Well, again, imagine this board, and you've got these pegs in it, right? And you're going to drop something, you're going to drop one of the little things into the top of it, and you're just going to hope that this little thing bounces around and gets to your ultimate destination. Our ultimate destination is down here. All of these pegs in cinematography, we are placing. Okay, these are constraints that either we're placing or the production is placing on us. And then we get to choose up here where to drop the thing. Okay, and it's going to bounce around and hopefully it's going to land in the bucket that we want, which is nice images. Okay, we know the final image that we want. We know we want depth. We know we want interest. We know an easy way to get there is to place a practical in the background on the shadow side of someone's face. So we need to work backwards from there. We need to, if we go back to our Plinko diagram, we need to reverse engineer this and go, aha, down here in these buckets that we actually want to travel into, we need to place the little pegs so that we can drop it here and guarantee that we're going to get into this bucket. Okay, so this last peg is really important. If we forget this peg, or if we place it over here, this thing's going to bounce and end up over here, and it's going to look like hot garbage. Okay, so we need to go through all of the decisions, and then we need to run them in reverse. What do we want in the end? Oh, we want this medium shot of this girl here, right, sitting on the sofa. Okay, so how do we work out the coverage so that when it comes to this shot, we're on the shadow side of the line? There's a practical in the background that is helping add to the salt and pepper as opposed to being flat in the background. Okay, it's the same. It's the same here. This is a great example from Skyfall, right? It's like, how do we set up all of the blocking and all of the framing so that when we land on this important shot, ta-da, what do we want? Maximum depth. How do we get maximum depth? We salt and pepper the image. How do we do that in a nighttime interior? We're going to use practicals. Where the practical is going to be placed. We could have easily, not we, Roger and team, could have put a prac, like they could have moved this sofa back so this prac ends up here in her face, and now we've got prac here and we've got prac in the background, and this is all black. Is that going to look nice? No. Should we do it? Absolutely not. Don't do it. Right? The other thing is, if you set up the practical on that side, so you got Key coming in this side, she's looking off camera this way, right? So she's looking upstage. We've got shadow side here. If you place the practicals, in this case 2, they're not really lighting much. If you place them on the shadow side, it gives you the excuse to float in the backlight to create separation. Here, they've chosen not to do it. But an example where they have chosen to do it, ta-da! What is this, Peaky Blinders? Okay, key light, looking this way. We're on the shadow side. Because we placed the practical here, do you think the practical's reaching over here and backlighting, old mate? No. But it gives you the excuse to use it. This is also, looks like a little bit of the Paul Cameron uplight trick, right, that we've talked about in the past for uplighting. But if you know that this look is better than having the prac here, well, then go back to the Plinko analogy. This is the bottom rung. This is our last shot. This is where we want to get to. This is the most impactful thing. Let's work backwards. That determines where we shoot from inside of the location. It determines where the wide is. It determines how close people are to one another in the scene. It determines layout and movement and all sorts of stuff. Here it is again. Lincoln, like, holy hard backlight. I'm really punching it through. Why, how can you sell it? Well, there's a prac back there. It's on the opposite side of the key. Go opposite side of the key, for the love of God. Here, same, opposite. You try and find me something that you like. Here, prac, opposite. Okay, we want shadow, then we want fake hair light, and then we want prac. This will save you. I didn't know that you were supposed to do this. I didn't know for a long time. I was just like, oh, I like some images are better than others. Why? Because they got the prac on the shadow side. If we know the prac on the shadow side is better, I know that. Well, then let's just work backwards and figure out how do we do all of the blocking so when I get to that shot, it's on the opposite side. Maybe you don't like it, right? Maybe you like this look. I'm not going to say you're always going to do it, but there is something to having hair melt into the background, right? We have no depth on this side. Maybe there's a time when you're going to want to use that. Are you going to want to use it every time? I have my doubts. All right. Hopefully that helps somebody out there. I wish somebody would have told me this and then just do the Plinko thing and really think about all cinematography as Plinko, right? Like I'm not the one putting up the lights. I'm not the one pulling the focus. I need to set those constraints as early on in the process as possible so that everyone can see what we're going to be bouncing off of. And then just magically on the day, if you've done your job, people will be like, you just sit around all the time. You don't do much. What? I take that as an insult. I placed the Plinko pegs, right? The director drops the little puck in there and it bounces all around. And then that's when you can be like a magician because you know you've already set them all up, right? You don't have to explain to everyone why we need to do the blocking in such a way or the coverage in such a way that the prac ends up on the shadow side. You just do it. Why? Because no one else cares or is asking. Okay. Anyway, hope that helps. I will see you in the next one.